Commander Jun Park stood rigid as the holographic image of Empress Ta flickered before him. The alien ruler's silver skin glistened under the light of her three-mooned homeworld. Her 6 eyes blinked in sequence as she studied the human delegation with obvious disdain. "These humans," she said, mandibles clicking with amusement, "barely evolved beyond their primate ancestors. Their technology is laughable." The Earth delegation remained silent. They had prepared for this moment for years. 17 star systems they had crossed to reach the heart of the Chiron Empire, hoping to establish peaceful relations with the most powerful civilization in this sector of the galaxy. Jun maintained his composure despite the insult. His military training served him well now. Behind him stood 5 other representatives, scientists, diplomats, and military personnel chosen to represent humanity's best qualities. "Your Majesty," he said, "humanity seeks only friendship and knowledge exchange." Captain Hannah Kim, standing to his right, subtly tensed. She had warned this might happen. The Chirons had a reputation for viewing other species as resources to be harvested rather than equals to be respected. Empress Ta rose from her crystalline throne. She towered over her attendants, nearly 3 meters tall. Her royal garments shimmered with embedded technology unknown to humans. "You will surrender Earth's resources within 1 solar cycle, or we will take them. Your species is beneath consideration as equals." The court of alien nobles behind her chittered with laughter. One particularly ornate Chiron leaned forward, whispering something to another that caused even more amusement. Jun bowed slightly, careful to follow protocol even now. "We hoped for peace, Empress. We still do." "Peace." Empress Tae's voice rose sharply. "Peace is for equals. You are cattle who have learned to speak. Nothing more." The delegation watched as images of Earth appeared in the air between them. Cities, oceans, forests, all labeled with resource values and extraction estimates. The Chirons had been studying them longer than they realized. "Your water alone makes your conquest worthwhile," she continued. "Your resistance would be pointless. Accept your place in the natural order." Dr. Min Lee, Earth's leading xenobiologist, stepped forward. "Empress, there is much we could learn from each other. Our differences." "Silence," the Empress hissed. "You do not speak unless spoken to. This audience is over. Return to your planet. Prepare it for harvest. 1 solar cycle." The holographic connection abruptly terminated, leaving the delegation alone in their ship's communication chamber. For several moments, no one spoke. The weight of what had just happened settled on them. Captain Hannah Kim placed a hand on Jun's shoulder. Her eyes, usually warm, had hardened to steel. "They have no idea what they've just done." "No," Jun agreed quietly. "They don't." Dr. Min Lee removed his glasses, wiping them slowly. "They haven't done proper research. They think we're defenseless." General Ta Wu, who had remained silent throughout the exchange, now activated his communication device. "Send the signal. Operation Sleeping Giant is now active." Jun nodded. "The Empress made a critical error today. She showed us exactly how they think. Their arrogance will be their downfall," Hannah said, already moving toward the ship's bridge. "We have the head start we needed." Out the viewport, the massive Chiron homeworld loomed. Its rings glittered with space stations and military installations. It seemed unconquerable, the center of an empire spanning hundreds of worlds. "How long until we reach Earth?" asked Jun. 3 weeks at maximum speed," replied the ship's navigator. Jun's expression remained calm, but determination burned in his eyes. "That gives us 3 weeks to prepare before they realize we're not coming back with surrender terms." As they departed the Chiron system, no one noticed the small data probe they left behind, silently gathering intelligence on the Empire's defenses. No one noticed the scan their ship performed of the Chiron fleet's communication protocols. The Empress had laughed at humanity today. Soon, she would learn that was a mistake. General Daho Lee floated through the observation deck of Station Artemis. The massive window revealed an incredible sight. hundreds of giant ships under construction. They stretched out across the asteroid belt, hidden from Earth and any watching eyes. "Quite a view, isn't it?" he said to himself. 10 years ago, this had been just mining stations. Now it was humanity's greatest secret. The workers moved like ants around the massive hulls. Welding torches flashed like stars. Construction drones carried pieces larger than old Earth skyscrapers. Colonel Su Min pushed herself through the zero-gravity chamber to join him. Her tablet displayed real-time updates from all construction sites spread across the solar system. "How many vessels operational?" Daho asked, not taking his eyes off the view. Su Min checked her tablet. 73 supercarriers complete, 94 at 80% readiness. She allowed herself a small smile. The propulsion systems work better than expected. The Chirons never imagined we could adapt their technology so quickly. Daho nodded. When the first Chiron scout ship had crashed on Mars 15 years ago, humanity realized they weren't alone. Instead of announcing it to the world leaders had made a different choice. They studied it, prepared, built. "The Chirons think we're just starting to reach nearby stars," said Daho. "They have no idea we've been watching them for over a decade." A transport ship docked at the station, bringing more workers from Earth. Every day, thousands travel to the hidden shipyards under the cover story of asteroid mining operations. The largest secret in human history, kept by millions. "Dr. Jinwoo wants to see you," Su Min said. "He's made another breakthrough." They made their way to the research section. Dr. Jinwoo stood before a glowing energy field. Inside it, a piece of metal floated untouched. "General." Jinwoo's eyes lit up with excitement. "Watch this." He pressed a button. A laser powerful enough to cut through steel fired at the metal. The energy field flashed blue, and the laser disappeared completely. "The shield harmonics?" Daho asked, trying to hide his amazement. "Perfected yesterday," Su Min replied. "The Chirons won't know what hit them." Jinwoo laughed. "We used their own technology against them. Their shields were designed to stop physical objects and energy weapons they knew about. But we found a way to make them work against all types of attacks." Daho stepped closer to the demonstration. "How did you solve the power problem?" "That's the beautiful part," Jinwoo said. "We didn't need their power systems. We created our own." He pointed to a small box near the shield generator. "This battery could power a small city for a year. We have thousands ready to install." Alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Daho's communication device activated automatically. "Report," he demanded. A voice came through. "The diplomatic ship has returned from Chiron space, sir. They're requesting immediate conference." Daho's face hardened. "How long before the meeting?" 3 hours, sir." He turned to Su Min. "Accelerate all production. If the diplomacy failed, we need every ship ready." As they hurried toward the transport bay, they passed a massive viewport showing the largest ship under construction. Its name was painted on the nearly completed hull, EDS Defiance. "Will we be ready?" Su Min asked quietly. Daho watched the workers moving with renewed urgency as the alert spread. "We have to be. Humanity has one chance." In secret laboratories across the solar system, engineers continued their work. On Mars, weapon systems based on Chiron technology were entering final testing. In orbital stations around Jupiter, pilots trained in simulators for ships still being built. And deep in the asteroid belt, humanity's fleet grew. The Chirons believed they would find a primitive species ready for harvest. Instead, they would find humanity's fist, forged in secret and ready to strike. Daho looked once more at the growing armada. "The Empress laughed at us," he said. "Let's see if she's still laughing when our ships block out her stars." Ambassador Hyun adjusted the collar of his formal diplomatic uniform as he waited to be announced. The grand hall of the Chiron Imperial Palace towered around him, its walls built from the crystallized remains of conquered worlds. 6 months had passed since the first meeting. 6 months of frantic preparation back home. The court herald, a tall Chiron with ceremonial face markings, struck the floor 3 times with his staff. The human ambassador seeks audience with Her Imperial Majesty, Empress Ta, ruler of 1,000 stars. Hyun walked forward with measured steps. Chiron nobles lined the path to the throne, their chittering whispers following him like insects. They wore ornate armor and jewelry made from the resources of plundered planets. Some openly laughed as he passed. Empress Ta lounged on her crystalline throne. She appeared even more decorated than before, with new trophies adorning her royal garments. Her 6 eyes narrowed as Hyun approached. "The human returns," she announced to her court. "Have you brought news of Earth's surrender?" "Your Majesty," Hyun said with a formal bow, exactly as deep as protocol required. "No more, no less. I come with a message from Earth's United Defense Council. We request you reconsider your demands. Humanity is prepared to defend itself." Laughter erupted from the court. The Empress's mandibles clicked rapidly, her version of amusement. "With what?" The Empress laughed, a harsh sound like breaking glass. "Your primitive rockets, your nuclear weapons. We have studied your defenses thoroughly. Your most advanced weapons would barely scratch our smallest vessels." Hyun remained calm. This reaction was expected. "There is much you have not seen, Your Majesty." He reached into his pocket and removed a small device. The Chiron guards tensed, weapons half raised, but the Empress waved them down with her 3-fingered hand. "Let the little creature show us its toys," she said. Hyun activated the small projector. Above it appeared a holographic image of massive ships in formation, humanity's new fleet. The supercarriers dwarfed anything in the Chiron Armada. The image showed weapons powering up, shield systems activating, fighter craft deploying. "This is but a fraction of our capability," Hyun said simply. For a moment, silence fell across the court. The Empress leaned forward, her eyes fixed on the display. Chief Advisor Sang-min moved quickly to the Empress's side. He leaned toward her, mandibles close to where her ears would be if she were human. "Your Majesty," he whispered urgently, though Hyun could still hear, "our intelligence has detected unusual activity in their system. Perhaps we should investigate before." She shoved him away with enough force that he stumbled backwards down the throne steps. "Clever forgeries," she hissed, rising to her full height. "Do you think we are so easily fooled by light displays? We have conquered species far more advanced than yours." Her voice rose to address the entire court. "The human deadline has expired. We will make an example of Earth." The court erupted in cheers and battle cries. Some nobles were already discussing which parts of Earth they would claim after conquest. Hyun took a deep breath. He had tried. They all had tried. He bowed formally, one last time. "We offered peace. Remember that." The Empress's eyes glittered coldly. "Take your warning back to your doomed world. You have 2 Earth cycles before our arrival." As Hyun was escorted out, he heard the court discussing the invasion plans. They spoke of Earth as if it were already theirs. 3 days later, as Hyun's ship sped back toward Earth, the Chiron scouts reported something strange. The human outposts on Mars and Europa had seemingly vanished overnight. No transmissions, no heat signatures, no signs of habitation. When the scout commander reported this to Empress Ta, she merely smiled, mandibles clicking softly. "They flee like cowards," she said. "Prepare the invasion fleet. Earth will fall, and the humans will learn their place in our empire." The scout commander hesitated. "Your Majesty, something feels wrong about this. Are you questioning my judgment?" Her voice turned dangerous. "No, Your Majesty," he said quickly, bowing low. "The invasion fleet will depart as scheduled." As he left, the Empress returned to studying the star charts showing Earth's solar system. Soon it would be just another conquest in her glorious reign. Admiral Ji-hoon stood on the bridge of the EDS Defiance. The supercarrier's command deck was silent. Everyone watched their screens as the Chiron invasion fleet approached Earth's orbit. The Defiance was hidden behind Earth's moon, its massive form invisible to Chiron sensors. At over 5 kilometers long, it was the largest warship humans had ever built. But it wasn't alone. "Status report," Ji-hoon said quietly. Commander Sun Young looked up from her station. Her face showed no emotion, but her eyes held excitement. The Chiron fleet has passed Mars' orbit. 117 warships, just as our intelligence predicted. Their formation suggests they expect no resistance. And our forces. All units in position and awaiting your command, Admiral. Ji-hoon nodded. For 3 years, he had trained for this moment. The fate of humanity rested on what happened in the next few minutes. "They've taken the bait," Sun Young reported, studying the tactical display. "Their sensors detect nothing unusual. They believe our colonies are abandoned because we fled in fear." A small smile crossed Ji-hoon's face. The Empress never considered we might have better cloaking technology than her empire. He straightened his uniform. "Signal the fleet. Execute Operation Daybreak." Sun Young pressed her palm against the command console, sending fleet-wide signal now. Throughout the solar system, something miraculous happened. Space itself seemed to ripple as massive ships shimmered into visibility. The cloaking fields that had hidden humanity's greatest achievement disengaged all at once. 200 supercarriers, each larger than any Chiron vessel, appeared in perfect formation. They had been hiding in plain sight, behind moons, within asteroid fields, even in Earth's orbit. Now they revealed themselves, surrounding the invasion force completely. The tactical officer couldn't hide his awe. "Look at them. It's beautiful." On the Chiron flagship, the mood was very different. Empress Ta had been relaxing in her command throne, already planning how she would divide Earth among her nobles. Now she stared in disbelief at the tactical display as it lit up with hundreds of massive ships. "Impossible," she whispered, all 6 eyes wide with shock. Her tactical officer frantically worked his controls. "Your Majesty, we're detecting energy readings beyond anything we've ever seen. These ships, they're larger than our dreadnoughts." "How?" the Empress demanded. "Their technology was primitive. We monitored them for years. We showed them what we wanted them to see," came a voice from the communications system. "Your Majesty," her communications officer said, trembling slightly, "the humans are hailing us." The main screen activated, and Ji-hoon's face appeared. He wore a simple black uniform with Earth's new United Military insignia, a planet with a protective shield. "Empress Ta," he said calmly, "your invasion ends here. We offered peace, and you chose war." The Empress rose from her throne. "This is some trick, some illusion." Ji-hoon shook his head. "Look outside your viewport, Empress. See for yourself." As Tai turned toward the large viewport that dominated one wall of her bridge, she saw something that no Chiron emperor or empress had ever witnessed in their 1,000-year history of conquest. The stars were vanishing, one by one, as Earth's carriers moved into position. Their massive hulls eclipsed the light from distant suns, creating an artificial night. Where once the blackness of space had been dotted with countless stars, now there was only darkness broken by the running lights of human vessels. "Tactical analysis," she demanded, her voice no longer confident. "We are completely surrounded," her tactical officer reported. "Their weapons are locked on our ships. We cannot win this battle." On the Defiance, Ji-hoon watched the Chiron ships on his tactical display. They had begun to move into defensive formations, but it was too late. "Admiral," Sun Young said, "all carriers report ready. Weapons charged, awaiting your command." Ji-hoon looked at the image of the frightened Empress on his screen. "Now, Empress Ta," he said, "shall we discuss terms of your surrender?" The great hall of the EDS Defiance had been transformed. Where once there were tactical displays and weapon controls, now stood a long table. Human and Chiron representatives sat across from each other, tension thick in the air. Admiral Ji-hoon stood at the head of the table, His uniform was perfectly pressed, his expression calm but firm. Behind him, through the massive viewport, Earth shone blue and beautiful. "These are our terms," Admiral Jae-hoon stated, his voice echoing in the silent room. "The Chiron Empire will withdraw all forces from Earth's space. You will acknowledge humanity's sovereignty and right to expand. There will be no reparations demanded, this time." Empress Ta sat opposite him. Her royal garments seemed too large for her now, her once proud posture slightly stooped. The mandibles that had clicked with laughter at humanity's expense now moved nervously. "How?" she asked simply, all 6 eyes fixed on Jae-hoon. "How did you build all this without our knowledge? We watched your planet for decades." Jae-hoon allowed himself a small smile. "You judged us by our past. We built our future while you were laughing." General Daho, standing nearby, added, "Your scouts saw what we wanted them to see. Old rockets, primitive satellites. Meanwhile, our real work happened where you never thought to look." The Chiron nobles shifted uncomfortably. They had come expecting to negotiate their empire's survival. Now they realized how close they had come to destruction. "Your technology," one Chiron scientist asked, unable to contain his curiosity. "It's beyond anything we have." "How?" "We learn quickly," Jae-hoon replied. "One crashed scout ship taught us enough. Human scientists work together instead of competing. We had something you never had." "What was that?" asked the Empress. "Necessity," said Jae-hoon. "When survival is at stake, humans achieve impossible things." The treaty signing was brief. Empress Tai pressed her royal seal into the document, officially recognizing Earth as a sovereign power. The Chiron ships would depart immediately. As Tai prepared to leave the Defiance, she paused near General Daho. Away from her court, she seemed older, wiser perhaps. "I have ruled for 3 centuries," she said quietly. "Never have I misjudged a species so completely." Daho nodded. "Perhaps that is the beginning of wisdom." They walked together through the center's main corridor. Staff members of both species worked side by side. In treatment rooms, human doctors administered the refined genetic therapy to Navi patients. The therapy now took just 3 days to complete, rather than the week it had initially required. "The Earth Navy Science Council meets this afternoon," Hana informed them. "They're voting on expanding the genetic exchange program to include other species facing similar challenges." "Other species?" Joan asked, surprised. "There are more. The universe is vast," Dr. Kim Du replied. "News of our success has traveled. 3 other spacefaring civilizations have contacted us about genetic collaboration." They entered a large auditorium filled with humans and Navi. At the front, a stage had been prepared with the flags of Earth and the Navi homeworld side by side. The Earth President and several other world leaders sat in the front row, alongside Elder Moon and other Navi dignitaries. "I'm nervous," June admitted as they took their places. "I'm not good at public speaking." "Just speak from your heart," Sue advised. "That's what got us here." The ceremony began with speeches from both world leaders. The Earth President spoke of a new era of interspecies cooperation, while the Navi Council leader described the treatment as the gift that saved our future. Then Elder Moon took the stage. The ancient Navy moved slowly but with dignity. "1 year ago, I traveled to a secret space station to shut down what many called dangerous research. Instead, I found hope. Today, I am pleased to announce that the genetic decline of the Navy has been halted. The first new generation shows complete genetic stability." Applause filled the auditorium. Elder Moon continued. "For this reason, the Navi Council unanimously votes to present our highest honor, the Star of Preservation, to the humans who saved our species. Dr. June Kim and Dr. Sue Park, please join me." June and Sue walked to the stage, where Elder Moon presented them with gleaming crystalline stars that seemed to contain actual light within. "These are the first ever given to non-Navy," Elder Moon explained. "From this day forward, You are known to all Navy as Friends of the Stars. After the ceremony, a reception was held in the center's garden. Humans and Navy mingled freely, sharing food and conversation. Tai approached Jun with a small Navi child. Dr. Kim, meet Hana, Ta said, named in honor of the ambassador, the first child of the new generation. The child looked up at Jun with curious large eyes. Unlike adult Navy, her skin had a slightly warmer tone, almost with a hint of human coloring. She's beautiful, Jun said. Are there many others now? Over 70, with hundreds more expected this year, Tae replied proudly. And each carries within them a piece of human resilience. Later, as the reception continued, Jun found a quiet spot in the garden. He was surprised when the Earth president joined him. Quite an achievement, Dr. Kim, the president said. Your work has changed humanity's place in the galaxy. We just did what scientists do, Jun replied modestly. Solve problems. You did more than that. The Navy are sharing technology that would have taken us centuries to develop on our own. Medical systems, clean energy, space travel improvements, all because you saw them as people worth saving, not just aliens. Before Jun could respond, his phone chimed with a special tone. He checked it quickly. Excuse me, Madam President. The first human volunteers for the joint medical exchange have arrived. I need to greet them. In the center's main lobby, 20 human doctors and scientists had gathered, ready to begin training with Navy medical experts. At the same time, a group of Navy researchers prepared to visit human. Elder Moon studied the information carefully. Impressive. But a single test subject is not conclusive evidence. We don't have time for more tests, Sue argued. The genetic deterioration is accelerating on your homeworld. I am aware, Elder Moon replied calmly. A new wave of births has begun. Nearly all show severe defects. Some predict it will be our last generation. Du stepped forward. Elder, we have a treatment that works. We need your support to implement it on a larger scale. Elder Moon was silent for a long moment. The Pure Path faction grows stronger each day. They claim accepting human help will destroy what makes us Navi. With respect, Elder, Ta said, voice strengthening. What makes us Navi is our ability to adapt and survive. Throughout our history, we have incorporated useful traits from other species through careful genetic selection. Why should this be different? The station alarm sounded again. Hannah checked the security feed. Security forces are in the main corridor. We have minutes at most. Elder Moon raised a hand, and to everyone's surprise, the alarm stopped. I have temporarily overridden their access. We have a short time to decide. Decide what? Jun asked. Whether this treatment represents the salvation or corruption of my species. Elder Moon replied. Ta stood fully now, the glow beneath the skin more pronounced. Test me, Elder. Confirm that I remain Navi in all essential ways, while carrying the human gift of genetic resilience. Elder Moon approached Ta and placed long, delicate fingers on the younger Navy's face. They stood like this, eyes locked, for several minutes while humans and Navi watched in tense silence. Finally, Elder Moon stepped back. I sense no corruption, only healing. The essence remains Navi, but stronger. The Elder turned to address them all. I will support your research. The Navy must adapt or perish. This has always been our way. What about the Pure Path faction? Bo asked. They will resist, Elder Moon acknowledged. But when they see the results, the Elder gestured to Ta. Evidence is more powerful than ideology. Hannah's tablet chimed. The UN vote has been postponed. Something about new diplomatic developments. Elder Moon nodded slightly. I may have communicated my preliminary findings to certain influential humans. So we can continue our work? Jun asked hopefully. Under proper oversight, yes, Elder Moon replied. No more secrets. This treatment must be developed openly, with both our peoples fully informed. 1 week later, Tai underwent the final testing. In a lab now filled with both human and Navi scientists, Dr. Kim announced the results. Complete success. Ta's reproductive cells show full genetic restoration. The treatment has exceeded our expectations. As applause filled the room, Ta approached Jun and Sue. My people have a saying. Those who help you survive become part of your story forever. Humans are now part of the Navi story. And Navi are part of ours, Jun replied, smiling at the remarkable being whose trust had changed 2 worlds. 1 year after Ta's successful treatment, Jun stood at the large viewing window of the new Interspecies Medical Center on the outskirts of Seoul. The sprawling complex gleamed in the morning sunlight, its architecture a blend of human and Navi design. Spacecraft from both worlds regularly arrived at the landing pads, bringing patients, researchers, and visitors. Quite a view, isn't it? Sue said, joining him with 2 cups of coffee. Sometimes I still can't believe we did it, Jun replied, accepting the coffee. 1 year ago, we were working in secret. Now look at this place. The center had become the hub for the genetic therapy program that was saving the Navi species. After Elder Moon's endorsement and the successful treatment of Ta, both governments had finally embraced the collaboration. The Pure Path faction still existed but had lost most of its influence as the treatment proved successful. Dr. Kim, Dr. Park, called a familiar voice. Ambassador Hannah approached them, accompanied by a tall Navi official. The ceremony begins in 30 minutes. The president is already here. Is that the new Navi Council leader? Sue whispered. Hannah nodded. Leader Du. Quite a promotion from medical director. Du greeted them warmly. Dr. Kim, Dr. Park, your presence honors us today. The honor is ours, Jun replied. How are things on your homeworld? Transforming, Du said. The first wave of treated citizens has produced 73 healthy children. No genetic defects detected. It is emotional for my people. Many had given up hope of having healthy offspring. As the one who defied the council to continue this work, Ta said solemnly, I will be the first test subject. Jun shook his head. It's too risky. We should test it on samples first. We have, Ta replied. For months. Now we need a living subject, and I volunteer. Hannah stepped forward. If this works, both our worlds will have to acknowledge what we've accomplished together. And if it fails, asked Bo. Then at least we tried, Ta said simply. Better to die attempting to save my people than to watch passively as we fade into extinction. The next day, in a sterile chamber, Dr. Kim administered the first treatment to Ta. As the genetic material entered the alien's body, humans and Navi alike held their breath, united in hope that transcended their different worlds. Ta lay motionless on the medical bed, connected to monitors that beeped softly in the quiet room. Dr. Jun Kim checked the readings for the 100th time, his eyes red from lack of sleep. It had been 72 hours since they had administered the treatment. Any change? Sue asked, entering with 2 cups of coffee. Jun shook his head. Vital signs remain stable, but no evidence the treatment is working yet. He accepted the coffee gratefully. The genetic markers should have shown some response by now. Bo stood silently in the corner, those large alien eyes fixed on Ta's still form. The council has discovered our location, Bo said suddenly. They have demanded that Earth authorities shut down this facility. Hannah rushed into the room, her usual composure shaken. We have a problem. The UN Security Council is voting in 6 hours on whether to close our research station. The United States and Russia are pushing for immediate shutdown. They can't do that. Sue protested. Ta is in the middle of treatment. They can, and they will, Hannah replied grimly. Fear is winning. The Pure Path faction on the Navi homeworld has convinced many that this research threatens the natural order. They've found sympathetic ears among Earth's conservative leaders. Jun looked at the monitors again. We need more time. The therapy needs at least another week to show results. We may not have a week, Hannah said quietly. As they spoke, one of the monitors began to beep more rapidly. Everyone froze, then rushed to Ta's bedside. The Navy's silvery blue skin had taken on a slight glow that hadn't been there before. "What's happening?" Bo asked urgently. June checked the readings. "Cell division rates are increasing. The damaged sections of DNA are showing repair activity." "Is that good or bad?" Hannah asked. "Good. Very good," Sue confirmed, studying another monitor. "The human repair sequences are successfully integrating with Ta's genetic code." For the next 4 hours, they watched as Ta's body underwent subtle changes. The monitors showed increasing activity in the reproductive cell production. Then, suddenly, Ty's eyes opened. "Did it work?" Ty asked weakly. June smiled. "Early signs are very promising. How do you feel?" "Different. Stronger." Ta slowly sat up. "I can feel changes within my body." The celebration was interrupted when the station's alert system activated. A message flashed across the main screen. "Unauthorized VOA or DANG in progress." "They've come for us," Hannah said, checking her tablet. "Joint Earth-Navy Enforcement Team. They'll be here in minutes." "We need to protect our research data," Jun said. "And Ta." Bo stepped forward. "I have prepared for this. There is a ship docked at the emergency exit. It can take us to the Navi colony on Mars if necessary." Sue quickly began transferring their research to portable drives. "We can't let them stop us now. We're too close." As they prepared to evacuate, the door to the lab slid open. Instead of security forces, Du entered, followed by an elderly Navi whom June had never seen before. "Elder Moon," Bo gasped, bowing deeply. The ancient Navi, skin almost translucent with age, moved slowly into the room. "So this is where the future of our species is being decided," Elder Moon said, voice soft but commanding. "Elder Moon is the head of the Science Council," Tai explained to the humans, struggling to stand in respect. "Why are you here, Elder?" "To see for myself what my young scientists have accomplished." Elder Moon approached Tai, examining the younger Navi with keen eyes. "The council is divided. Before we make our final decision, I wish to witness your work firsthand." "The treatment is working," Jun said, showing Elder Moon the data. "Ta's reproductive cells are repairing themselves using the human genetic sequences." She studied him for a moment. "The weapons you built, will you use them as we have? To conquer? To rule?" "We built them to survive," Daho answered. "What we do next will show who we truly are." 6 months later, the great chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with excitement. Over 300 species were represented here, most far older than humanity. Today, that would change. Ambassador Hyun walked confidently down the central aisle. His simple uniform stood out among the elaborate dress of other species. Behind him walked Captain Hannah Kim and Commander Jun Park, the same team that had faced the Empress's mockery a year before. Hyun presented his credentials to the council leader, a tall being with skin like polished wood. "Earth is recognized," announced the leader. "Humanity is welcomed to the Galactic Council." Across the chamber, delegates whispered to each other. Most had never heard of humans before the Chiron incident. Now everyone knew the story. "The humans," one delegate whispered to another. "They're the ones who darkened the Chiron skies. Best not to underestimate them." The Chiron representative, not Empress Ta but a minor noble, watched silently from their section. Their empire had shrunk in the aftermath, as subjugated worlds saw weakness and broke free. As the formal ceremony ended, Ambassador Hyun addressed the council. "We come seeking knowledge and friendship," he said. "Earth extends its hand in peace to all." Later, as Hyun and his team prepared to return to their ship, the council leader approached them privately. "Your entrance to galactic politics is unusual," the leader said. "Most species spend centuries proving themselves worthy." Hyun smiled. "Humans are impatient. We prefer shortcuts." A new era had begun. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through conquest, but by standing firm when threatened. And though peace prevailed, the supercarriers remained, a silent reminder to any who might forget the lesson Empress Ta had learned.